always talk about being observant when you're out on the water. Well, sometimes you got to be observant when you're on land too. So we were on land, outside, and saw the birds diving right down the canal. I've never really seen them here before, but you never know where the shrimp and birds are going to be. And that's the name of the game this time of year, is to find the shrimp, find the birds, they tell you where the fish are.
We spit out a shrimp. Oh, I got another one. One of ours spit out a little shrimp.
Mine did?
One of ours is right there.
There you go. Anyway, Chrissy's got the Matrix Mini. This is our nighttime rig that we keep on the dock. And like I said, we just hurried up and grabbed something, jumped in the boat while these birds are going crazy. Let's see how many we can get. Chrissy's hooked up again. With that littler bait, you're going to catch smaller fish, obviously, but when you're bird fishing, throwbacks is extremely common. So a little ultralight, when you're catching these smaller trout, and a Matrix Mini, super fun, great thing to do with the kids. I'm throwing one of Charlie's Cajun Cockahos, which have a rattle in it. This is the glow with the chartreuse tail. And the reason I pulled that out the tackle box is because these are probably our most durable lure that we carry. And when you're bird fishing, you're going to get a lot of bites. It's going to be fast action. You don't have time to be putting on new lures. So I wanted something really durable. That's the white trout Chrissy's got. We can keep him, as they don't have a size limit. A little small though. I'm going to let him go. That's a good one. That's a keeper. Look at the size of this one. I mean, these fish are all different shapes and sizes. That's a beautiful fish. If they were all like that, they'd be busting up that little pole Chrissy's throwing. She just broke off, so we might put a little bit bigger lure on for her. Stay away from the keeper. I mean the throwback, but that's a beauty right there. You could hear that fish grunting while he was in the water. Oh, look at his sore that he's got on his gill. It's like something, he's missing some of his gill there. Pretty trout though. And I really shouldn't be surprised that these fish are right here in our backyard like this, because the last several nights we've been seeing just a tremendous amount of life on our lights. Lots of shrimp jumping, and that's only a couple hundred yards from here. So for the shrimp to be acting up during the day right here, I really shouldn't be that surprised in having all of these nice trout underneath it, because we've been seeing it at night. And it's just really setting up for a fabulous fall with just this incredible amount of white shrimp in our entire estuary. All right, so what happens a lot of times when you pull up and you see birds diving everywhere, they'll stay with you for a few minutes. That's when the shrimp are jumping all over the place, going nuts. When you see that, as soon as it hits the water, you want to start reeling. Now, once you lose the birds and the shrimp quit skipping around, that certainly does not mean the fish left. And as you saw, I let that bait get down some there. And just start changing up the depths that you're letting that bait get down. Look at that beauty, another beautiful fish right there. So when you see the shrimp skipping and the birds there, keep the bait high. When you lose the birds, do just like this here. simply, you know, like I said, this has got some depth here. This is 10 to 15 foot. Let it get down some, now that I'm not seeing shrimp or birds around, and then begin your retrieve. As a lot of times them fish just submarine a little bit. But when you see them fish, up in the air, I mean them shrimp up high, jumping out the water, man, you can catch them on top water, jerk baits, all kinds of things. Like we said, these fish are all shapes and sizes. Got them from like 11 inches like that one, up to 15, 16 inches like the one underneath me. Let that bait get down. I'm gonna start reeling. That's just a nice steady retrieve. That's why I like to use a jig head when you're bird fishing, because you can change your water depths rather than be under a cork. Now, if it's a shallow flat and you see birds, like something like Lake Catherine, yeah, I'd probably recommend a cork. But when it's a deep canal like this, a jig head I find is a little bit better because you can change your water levels. Letting it get down about 8 foot now. When I started off, I was railing it on the surface when I first got here. There we go. This is a good one, I think. It's just strong. Keeper to keeper. Beautiful, beautiful trout. Great lure. When I talk to my kids, my youngest one, Blakely, she's always like, Dad, when are you going to name a lure after me? So we're going to have to think of something for her. But this is Charlie's bait. She gets a kick out of when she sees these in the stores. And trust me, they catch trout.
Reel it, reel it. Come on, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Simba. All right, what kind of fish is this, Blakely?
Specks, and my sister caught it. Thank you, Sissy.
All right, so right here in this canal, it's like 15 foot. But when them shrimp come up like that, you don't really need to fish the bottom. Look how fat this little trout is. He's eating everything. Hold on. Looks like he's got a big old belly. But you don't have to, don't let it get down to the bottom if you see them shrimp skipping. These fish will be high on the surface. They're suspended, they're running them shrimp up to the top. And what happens is when them shrimp hit the surface, and they start skipping, the birds see it and they're eating it. So just be happy that you're not a shrimp. Those things, everything wants to eat a shrimp. Nice little trout. Just listen to them grunting. That's some little males. And this is what we look for all of the time in the fall. This happens all across Louisiana. Very common in that September, October time frame. It don't matter if you're fishing right here like we are at E. Niles, or way down by Venice, west side of the river. This is what you want to look for. This is white shrimp. They come in to the interiors. Speckled trout love them. The fish are just simply moving around with the shrimp this time of year. And you never know where you're going to see the shrimp jumping. Big keeper on an ultralight. Catch these little 12, 14 inch trout on an ultralight, it feels like a 2 or 3 pounder. Alright, with these Charlie's Cajun Cockahos, you rig it just like a matrix. Right through the nose, pop it out the flat part of the top, that's the back. And right here in the belly, there's a little glass rattle that's built in. Gives it a little bit more notice for a fish that catches attention, that's it right there. Just a little swim bait, real similar to a matrix, but a little bit more durable. Good fish. I can't get over the size difference of these. Look at that beauty in the water right there. That's a nice one. I mean, these things are ranging from 10 inches all the way up to this thing. God, I didn't see that. That was a gar in the background. I mean, that's a solid 17-incher right here. So they're going from little bitty 10-inchers to trout like that. But that's what happens when you're on them birds and them shrimp. They're all shapes and sizes. You got to weed through the throwbacks. So that's fall fishing at its finest right there. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This fish is grunting too. That's a big male. But I hope you enjoyed this episode of DockSide TV. Make sure to subscribe to the monthly bait box for whenever you run into the birds. Put these Charlie's Cajun Cockahos on. These things are bulletproof. You can catch so many trout on one lure. We'll be sending those out in your monthly bait box. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as we have all kinds of videos over the last 10 years of chasing birds and shrimp jumping around. This is what Louisiana is known for, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of DockSide TV. And until next time, good fishing.